My name is Anders Metzik. Over the next few minutes, I will give you a short introduction to the MIRUS system. I will start by explaining the different products that make up the MIRUS system, their installation, and how to get started. Then, I will show you how to use the MIRUS system, how to change the MIRUS filter and reflector, and how to switch off the MIRUS controller. At the end, some safety instructions will be provided. This video will not replace the personal introduction which we will also give you and which is required by law in some countries. Nor will it replace the detailed instructions for use provided with the product that makes up the MIRUS system. This video is designed to support you in your internal training. We will start with the MIRUS filter. The MIRUS filter retains bacteria and viruses and protects the upstream side of the breathing system against patient-derived contamination. In combination with the MIRUS reflector, the MIRUS filter acts as a highly efficient heat and moisture exchanger and makes sure that the breathing gases are adequately heated and humidified before they reach the patient. The MIRUS filter has ISO connectors and can also be used as a stand-alone heat and moisture exchanging filter in conventional breathing systems. Before usage, the filter is tested with the existing breathing system. The second component of the MIRUS system is the MIRUS reflector. It acts as the interface between the patient's breathing system and the MIRUS controller. It contains the outlet for the volatile anesthetic gas, the gas monitoring line inlet, flow and pressure measurement interfaces, and acts as a reflector for the expired volatile anesthetic gas. It retains a proportion of the volatile anesthetic gas from the expiration and adds it back to the next inspiration. MIRUS filter and reflector are connected to each other by aligning the internal interfaces and performing a 90-degree turn. The combined MIRUS filter and reflector is referred to as the MIRUS exchanger. The third component of the system is the MIRUS controller, an electronically controlled vaporizer. Liquid volatile anesthetic agent is filled through an agent-specific and keyed fill port into the MIRUS controller, like in conventional vaporizers. Volatile anesthetic delivery is driven by heat-generated vapor pressure. In alignment with the preset gas concentration and the feedback control of the patient's exhaled gas, the MIRUS controller electronically controls the volatile anesthetic gas injection into the ventilation circuit. The MIRUS controller will guide the patient to a preset MAC value and will keep this level regardless of, for example, changes in ventilation settings, much like a cruise control. Other components of the MIRUS controller. The MIRUS controller is operated via the touch screen panel on the front side and the confirm button below the screen. Flashing lights on top of the housing indicate the state of the machine and warn of alarms. On top of the housing you will find the MIRUS controller park bay, which will hold the MIRUS reflector when it is not needed between patients and to test the MIRUS reflector for its integrity. On the front right-hand side is the socket for the MIRUS reflector connecting plug. On the right-hand side are the sockets for power cable and potential equalization cable. On the back of the machine's housing, different mounting systems may be attached. On the left side are different interface sockets for data transfer capabilities like LAN cable and nurse call.
Below the front side touchscreen, there's a microSD card slot which can be used for future software updates and also for data transfer.
Now, the exhaust anesthetic gas removal systems. In order to avoid residual volatile anesthetic gas escaping to the ambient air on the ward, two different systems are available. Via an adapter to the expiratory valve of the ventilator, the expiratory gas is either led to a special filter or removed by an open scavenger system connected to the existing wall vacuum system. The filter system retains the remaining volatile anesthetic gas from the expiration and stores it. It is simply connected and has to be changed regularly. The open reservoir scavenger system, clean air, follows a different principle. This system is hooked up to the wall vacuum system and is under a small constant vacuum flow. The scavenger system acts as a reservoir for the expired air, which will then be carried away via the vacuum system. The reservoir is open on top to ambient. Therefore, the constant vacuum flow will never create a negative pressure within the ventilation system. Now, let's move to the preparation. The MIRUS filter is tested within the existing breathing system and can be used as a standalone heat and moisture exchanging filter at the beginning of ventilation. The MIRUS controller should always be connected to a power supply to shorten the warm-up time and to make sure that the internal battery is fully charged. Take the MIRUS reflector out of the package and put the connecting plug into the socket on the controller. Lift up the park bay handle, put the MIRUS reflector housing with the big open end facing down into the park bay, and let the handle hold and close the machine side port of the MIRUS reflector. The spring mechanism of the handle would create a seal to the MIRUS reflector, which is needed for the integrity test. Now, just push the confirm button below the monitor and the device will boot and perform all necessary tests by itself. This can take up to 2 minutes. At the end of the test, the screen will show the test results. Stop the ventilation for a short time. Take the MIRUS reflector out of the park bay and place it between the MIRUS filter and the Y piece. Now all you need to do is push the home screen button, choose a MAC or volume percentage value, and start the application. To do so, push the MAC field and use the arrow button on the right-hand side to increase or reduce the value. To confirm your action, push the flashing MIRUS confirm button. Now you already know the most important moves to handle the MIRUS controller. Usually, push the field with the parameter you want to change it, and confirm it with the MIRUS confirm button. To support you, the MIRUS confirm button always flashes when confirmation is needed. After having set the MAC value, start the application by pushing the start button and then pushing the confirm button. It is usually always the same procedure. Here is one more example before I show you the MIRUS control menu in detail. If you would like to change the alarm setting of the CO2 alarm, push the alarm tabs on the right, push on one of the alarm setting fields, increase or reduce the value with the arrow buttons, and push the confirm button. Very easy. Now, the MIRUS controller control menu in detail. On the left-hand side of the screen, you will find information on how much longer the MIRUS reflector still can be used, what the filling status of the MIRUS controller is, if the system test has been passed, if the MIRUS controller is plugged into a power supply or running on battery. The top part of the screen shows a little lung animation, a lifeline that runs across the upper
Screen and the MacPilot symbol.
which indicates whether the MIRUS controller is applying volatile anesthetic or not. On the right-hand side of the screen are different tabs for the different settings. In the middle part of the screen, there are your main settings and information. The first tab guides you to the home screen. It shows you the measured volatile anesthetic gas concentration and the measured CO2. In the center is the MAC or volume percentage setting. To the right, you find the change arrows and below these, the start, pause, and stop buttons. On the left-hand side, there is a graphical bar which shows you if and how fast the preset concentration is reached. The top line represents 100% of the set value, and the yellow bar shows how much has been reached so far. The second tab
Is there
to set the patient's age, height, body weight, and sex. These settings, especially the age, are important for calculating some other values in the background, for example the MAC. You use the same pattern here. Tap on the field, change the settings, and confirm with the MIRUS confirm button. At the third tab, there is a graph in the center which shows a trend of the measured volatile anesthetic gas concentration. Below you can choose the wash-in speed, slow, middle, or fast. The fourth tab contains an overview of measured parameters. It shows a CO2 curve and ventilation parameters such as frequency, I/E ratio, pressure, or volumes. Under the fifth tab are alarm settings of CO2, volatile anesthetic gas concentrations, tolerated apnea time, and maximum alarm sound level. The sixth tab contains another 4 tabs within itself. Within the far left tab, you have the possibility to open the fill port of the MIRUS controller to replenish volatile anesthetic volume. Here, the fill level of the MIRUS controller can be checked at any time. Through pressing and confirming the fill port button, the fill port opens. The MIRUS controller can then be filled with liquid volatile anesthetic with a corresponding adapter between bottle and fill port. After you have completed this, just close the fill port and the application will start again automatically. Under the next tab, you can change the menu language or choose another CO2 measurement unit. Under the third tab, you can change the time zone.
The fourth tab gives you some information about the software, hardware and service.
Last but not least, the seventh tab on the main row to the right.
It is only active after stopping the application.
Here you can turn off the MIRUS controller by pushing the button and confirming it with the MIRUS Confirm button. The MIRUS controller will then switch off. I will now show you how to refill the MIRUS controller and how to change the MIRUS filter and the MIRUS reflector. Refill the MIRUS controller with liquid volatile anesthetic. Prepare the volatile anesthetic bottle and the corresponding adapter. Press the Setting tab. That's the one with the spanner, clock, and bottle on it, and choose the tab with the bottle if not already active. Press the Fill Port button and the Confirm button. The fill port opens and the application will start automatically. The MIRUS controller can be filled with volatile anesthetic now. Depending on equilibration with the system pressure, this process may take a few minutes. Close the port and the application will restart automatically after the filling process is complete. Changing the MIRUS filter. Please note that opening the breathing system may result in loss of patient airway pressure and may have a negative effect on the patient. Stop the ventilator and then the volatile anesthetic gas application by pushing the pause button on the home screen of the MIRUS controller. Disconnect the MIRUS filter by a 90-degree turn from the MIRUS reflector and replace the MIRUS filter with a new MIRUS filter in the same way. Now place the MIRUS exchanger back into the breathing system. Restart the application and the ventilation, changing the MIRUS reflector. Please note that opening the ventilation circuit may result in loss of patient airway pressure and may have a negative effect on the patient. Stop the ventilator and then the gas application by pushing the pause button on the home screen of the MIRUS controller. Disconnect the MIRUS reflector by a 90-degree turn from the MIRUS filter and remove the MIRUS reflector plug from the MIRUS controller. After connecting the MIRUS reflector plug back to the MIRUS controller socket, you can place the MIRUS reflector back into the ventilation circuit. Connect the new MIRUS reflector to the MIRUS filter by a 90-degree turn. Restart the application and the ventilation. If you would like to turn the MIRUS system off and take the patient off the system, you perform the following. Stop the MIRUS application. Choose the tab with the Turn Off button, push the Turn Off button, and confirm your choice. The device will turn off. Remove the MIRUS exchanger from the breathing system. Disconnect the MIRUS filter from the MIRUS reflector with a 90-degree turn. If you would like to continue using the MIRUS filter, replace the MIRUS filter in the breathing system and restart the ventilation. If you would like to continue using the MIRUS reflector later on, place the MIRUS reflector in the park bay on the MIRUS controller. Please remember to keep the MIRUS controller always on power supply. This helps to shorten the warm-up phase and ensures that the internal battery is fully charged. Now, some very important safety instructions. Every application and change of treatment with the MIRUS system should be done in consultation with the responsible physician. The MIRUS system must only be used on intubated patients connected to a ventilator with an active ventilation backup mode. Ventilated patients must have a tidal volume of at least 300 milliliters. Do not use the MIRUS system with active humidifiers. When used on a classical anesthesia ventilator, the MIRUS system is not to be used under low flow conditions. Use a fresh gas flow of 1.5 times the minute volume. In case of spillage of liquid volatile anesthesia agent, if possible, ventilate the room with fresh air and leave the direct spillage area until the liquid has fully evaporated. The life of the MIRUS reflector is up to 7 days. The MIRUS filter has to be changed per patient after 24 hours if liquid drug nebulization is used, or after 48 hours if liquid nebulization is not used. This video is there to support you. It will not replace the detailed instruction for use provided with the product. Please read the instructions for use before using the MIRUS system. The use of the MIRUS system is only the responsibility of the user. I wish you much success with the MIRUS system.